Hey guys, this is Rana with Broken Buttons, and today we are doing some Mario Maker stuff. So this is going to be a tutorial on basically it's like an intro to level design. Um, I'll be covering some overall things, but it's mostly going to be focusing on Mario, obviously. Yes, so because I had a lot of people who struggle at the beginning of making levels, because making good levels is hard. It's not just, throw shit in there. Creativity is a huge part of making a good level, so I'll hope to do the best I can. I've been doing level design for about 4 years now. I worked at about 2 different studios doing it. 2 different, not about 2. 2 different studios doing it. And so hopefully I can help some people out into making their levels. So the first thing I like to consider when making levels, in my opinion, there's 2 things you can focus on. My personal approach is do the theme first. What is the theme of your level? Where is it supposed to be? And I understand this game has built themes for you, but I mean, take it farther. Like, here, say I want to do airship. So I ask myself, what kind of airship? Let me erase all this first. So think to yourself, well, what kind of airship? Okay, well, how about, one where it's like, here's the front, and then it's like all destroyed and kind of like busted up, and so it's basically like an abandoned or blown up airship. That's what I mean by picking your theme and sticking with it. So let me erase again. The second thing I like to consider, these are interchangeable, is what are the mechanics I will be focusing on in this stage. You can do them all, but there is a way to do that, and it's tricky, so I will cover that in another tutorial if you guys want. Basically how to approach more difficult levels, because difficulty is a hard thing to tackle. If you want to make a hard level, there's a way to do that, and there's a right way and a wrong way, and a lot of people do it the wrong way by making it super unfair, and that's not how you make a good tough level. You gotta make it fair. If the player doesn't feel like it's their fault, then you fucked up. Okay, so my mechanics, the reason I'm using New Super Mario Bros. Is because I love the wall jumping mechanic. So I want to use wall jumping, and I'm going to do climbing. Those are the mechanics I want to focus on. So, and I want my theme to be kind of a grassland cave type of theme. Keeping it basic this time for the sake of simplicity. Okay, so the third thing I tell people to do, in this case I will not be doing it. You don't have to do this step, but I highly suggest it for pre-planning, is make sketches. Draw out your level so you have a rough blueprint, to follow before you start just throwing things at the screen. You can obviously throw crap at the screen and see what worked and see what you like. That's just an optional step, but when I did this professionally, I always draw out my levels on paper, and I always do tons of sketches first. So I highly suggest doing that. So let's get started. One of the first things I want to drill into your head is save as you go. Always keep saving. If you go over 10 minutes and you haven't saved, you need to save right away. And you don't want to redo everything. It sucks. Not saying redoing everything is not bad, because sometimes, here's what I want you guys to understand. If something in your level isn't working, change it immediately. Or make it work, or kind of alter it to work. If your whole level you feel isn't working, delete everything and start over. That's not a bad thing. Never get too attached to one idea. It's not good. Because if it's just not working, it's just not working, and you're gonna have to go back and revise it. So also, let's begin on the intro to assets. Now, a lot of people, when they see this, it can be quite overwhelming because you got a lot. I don't like how Nintendo did it, how you have to unlock it. I think that's so stupid. I suggest just getting everything out of the gate and drawing the blocks and then setting your timer a day ahead and get them all. Because I think their way, Nintendo's way, is so stupid. I understand it, but I think it's stupid. So the thing is, like, a lot of people see all these assets and they just want to throw everything at their level. Don't do that. You're gonna just make a clusterfuck. Honestly, when I do this, I only need probably 1 row and then maybe 4 on the second row, and I won't use more than that. You really do not need a giant, palette of items. It's just gonna get so confusing. So let's switch out what we will need the most. We definitely don't need the cheap, so I'm gonna replace it. Let's do the hard block. I'll probably need that. I do not need the spring, so let's replace that with a Koopa. I like him. I think I'm good. The rest are good. I'm gonna leave the arrow and I'll show you why. I don't need it, but I'm gonna show you why I have it there. So once you've selected all the assets you want, or roughly the ones you want, we can start now. So let's say I'm going to focus on wall jumping. So let's start out, let's do a bottomless pit here, so they have to jump. And we're going to put the wall they need to jump off of up here. And, oops. Let's don't be afraid to fill things in to make the level look more appealing. I like my levels to make sense, so let's try this out. Okay, cool. That works. So I want to emphasize to you guys, every time you make a change, test it. Every time you add something, you need to keep testing as you go, because you're going to end up making, this huge level and you've only tested maybe a third, and then you're going to run through it and you're going to see all these parts that do not work and you're going to have to change. So every time you add a piece of your level, test it to make sure. And so you also want your level to teach the player as they go. This is why I highly suggest do not do this. Don't do that crap. That's babying. It's not good. Oh, instead, obviously, this one's obvious, they can see where to go, but I say leave a breadcrumb, a trail for them to follow. Let them figure it out. Say, like, leave coins. That's one I like to do. So they'll immediately, they're gonna follow the coins. Move that down so you can get both. There you go. Then I'd probably like to leave a small reward for them, completing the first jump. Let's put that there. I need everything centered. So let's do up there. Let's give them a mushroom. So now they have a reward. There you go. Also, I wonder if I could... Oh, I can. Here's something I like to do personally. I always try to break my own levels. Wherever there's a place where I'm not intending players can go, and I find a way there, I don't always block it off. I like to, give them rewards for exploring. I think you should give players rewards for exploring your level instead of making your level incredibly linear. Like, let people explore. Just reward them for it. It makes it more fun. Okay, so there we go. So now, let's get the climbing in there. So we're gonna say, let's make them jump for it because we want to focus on wall jumping and climbing. So we're going to introduce one at a time just to start out. So, there we go. And now I have a vine there. Let me test it. Okay, I don't want it to be too hard. So I'm not doing a difficult level this time. Alright, there we go. And then I like to leave the breadcrumb trail. And let's make sure they can jump there. Now I want to add one more piece. I want to add bouncing off enemies. So let's do that. Let's add some enemies to bounce off of. So I'm going to make them jump for the next part. There, I'll just make it like a crumbling mountain so I don't have to sit here and you guys have to watch me sketch these things in for a million hours. Also, quick side topic. Don't be afraid to like decorate up your level. This is something I like to do. I like my levels to make sense visually. So like, see, now I'm gonna make it look like you're coming out of a cave. You know, do things like that. It's good. Just don't be afraid to leave stuff for decoration. But I'd say pretty up your level last. That's the thing you do at the end. So next we're gonna add bouncing off enemies. So we need the red Koopa Troopa because I don't want him running off the edge. And let's leave a small platform for him to walk on. Actually, let's make it a little bit smaller. Okay, I'm not going to be sitting here sketching forever. Alright, and sometimes I like, since this is going to be an easier level, don't be afraid to do things like that. Okay, let's get a little more room. Okay, so there we go. We're gonna have bouncing off enemies. Let's try it again. Oops. See, that might need to be adjusted. Alright. So these need to go up here. I highly suggest using your shadow or your trail. Always leave the trail, except if it's visually blocking you. Alright, and we're gonna put that over here. So let's do that. Let that there. So yeah, now they have to bounce to get over there. Yeah, that might have to be revised so that doesn't happen. Let us fix that. Let's just get rid of that. Oops. Let's pick you up and put you over there. Actually, let's put you here. Let's pick you. Oh, I know what's doing that. My touchscreen's a little wonky on the right side. Let's put that there, and let's erase this whole row. So now he's gonna be just walking there. There we go. So now we can bounce off enemies. So now we taught the player the basic 3 things we're going to be focusing on. So now we can combine those things to make it more challenging. So let's have the player wall jump. Let's have the player wall jump their way up here. And let's bring this out one, because I don't think he'll make it. Alright. Oops. Don't do that. There we go. Cool. So again, I like to You don't have to leave him everywhere he jumps. You don't have to baby them with the coins. You can just, as long as they get the idea. Like at this point, you wouldn't actually need the coins too much because they know what to do. Just for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to be leaving coins. So then let's combine our mechanics. Oops. To make it harder. So now let's try wall jumping and climbing. Make those transition into each other. So let's see, there we go. So that's what I mean by let's ramp up the difficulty by starting to combine mechanics. So right now, you're basically not throwing anything at the player out of nowhere. I would say don't do that. Because, let me show you. Let's start the whole level real quick. So we have our intro, which will be the wall jumping. Then we show climbing. Then we're gonna have the bouncing off enemies part. Here we go. And then we're gonna have more wall jumping. And then there we go. See, we're slowly ramping up the difficulty. Now let's combine even more. Let's combine a little more. Let's try. You know what? Let me think of how to do this. Let's try that. Let's see if he can make that. Alright, cool. Also, you guys, I know I'm not saving for this tutorial, but this is basically a test, or just the tutorial, so, you know, do as I say, not as I do. Yeah, it's always good to save as you go. Okay, now we're gonna combine these assets to make something harder. There we go. Let's stretch that out one more. This is more about just prettying up your levels. So actually, I don't think that's going to work. So again, let's test. Yeah, okay. We have to move this over. Let's get rid of this because this is interfering. Oops. We just want to get rid of this. So let's see what we gotta use our shadow to see where Mario's gonna end up. Oops. Yeah, if we don't do it that way. It's 3 jump. 2, 3, 4, bounce, grab. There we go. Let's extend that down a little bit. Now let me do a quick test because I gotta check to see. Because I don't know if that wall's gonna interfere, so I gotta check again. Oops. I suck at my own level. This probably needs tweaking, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just... Okay, cool. So it doesn't interfere with Mario. So then we'll probably have some jumping. How about we do, like, let's do a winged Koopa, and we're gonna bounce off of him. Okay, let's just do that. So now we're gonna bounce. We're gonna land here. We're gonna jump to here. Oops. I suck at my own level. I'm actually good at Mario, I'm just sucking. There we go. So now, let's add one more bit. Let's do the downward slide thing again, because I want to bring him down. I want to leave the player down. I'm not going to cover sub-areas in this one. I really like using sub-areas, and I highly suggest people use sub-areas, but that'll be a different tutorial. And then let's say we do this. Whoops. Let's take some red Koopas. Let's have 2, and then that'll be for the flagpole. There we go. Now let's try it out. So we're gonna want to slide our way down. Oh, that Koopa's dumb. Forgot to give him wings. Nope, not an ice block. There we go. Alright, and then I'd say, like, let's leave some coins so the player knows they gotta slide down. I'll leave a couple here. I think that's good. Alright, so for the sake of this tutorial, for this intro, let's try the whole level out. You guys should leave probably more power-ups. It's up to you. That's just personal, that's up to you to decide. So we introduced our wall jump, then we introduced climbing, then we introduced bouncing off the Koopas, and we start to combine these things with wall jumping and climbing, and we start to combine the 3. I can't beat my own level. Yeah, see, that needs to be tweaked. That Koopa goes up too high. There's also kind of like an issue with the flying enemies. They can be kind of weird, just how they work. Because it's something with the way they render them, because I had an issue with this with wanting flying dry bones in my levels, and I needed them at certain heights. But they try to like force them to stay on screen instead of a set path, so sometimes they'll stay in weird spots. If that's the case, I would just say, like I did with that Koopa, just leave one standing there or something, because it just renders weird. I don't know how it does it. Yeah, so there you go, guys. That's the intro, small intro to level design in Mario Maker. And I still can't beat my own level because I'm trash at it. There's that jank rendering again. So yeah, that's obviously gonna need a lot of tweaking. But there you go. If you guys would like how to tackle any specific type of level design for Mario Maker, leave a comment on what you'd like me to cover next. Or if you would like level critiques, leave your course ID, and I'll probably do an episode where I'll probably just take the course IDs I had, and I will just play through levels and I'll play through levels and just critique them and put up a video. I'll also probably edit them or show maybe corrections and stuff that could be made. But yeah, there you go. Alright, thanks for watching, everyone. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and check out our Facebook if you want to.